Hi, my name is Alison Conel, and I became a Christian November 10th, 1985. I was 19 years old at the University of Iowa. I pretty much dealt with life by partying, and I was searching for a guy to meet all of my needs. I spent most of those years pretty depressed and anxious. And then I met a friend, an incredible woman, who was different, and she was just filled with like a quiet hope and full of wisdom. And I finally asked her one day, like, what is different with you? There's something different here. And at the top of the IDS Center in downtown Minneapolis, she shared with me what it meant to be a Christian. And that really resonated with me. And on the way home between Minneapolis and Iowa City, in a terrible snowstorm, I committed my life to the Lord. And it really was the first time that I felt a deep sense of peace and hope in my life. Anyway, I would like to say that 38 years later, that I'm walking strongly with the Lord, never wavering. But the fact is, I spent all of 2023 just limping along emotionally, spiritually. I took the edge off with a glass of wine and pulled tabs at a local bar. I still really loved the Lord and I read my Bible, but I was focused on all my circumstances, waiting for them to change. And I was completely focused on my struggles. It was time for my biannual MRI for my brain tumor. It has no room to grow at all, and that's always really a stressful time in my life. My husband, Ed, had just lost his job to a terrible accident, and he has Parkinson's disease. We were waiting to see if he could get disability. I was constantly worrying about money. How are we going to pay this month's bills? I'd wake up in the middle of the night worrying about money. I'd really reached my wit's end December 31st, 2023. It was the morning of. I was slumped over my desk completely in a posture of defeat, just defeated. And it seemed impossible to get out of my pajamas. I felt like I needed an emotional oxygen tank. And then, thank the Lord, I decided to tune in online, hesitantly, but I decided I'm going to tune in. And the sermon started out with a question that said, what is your current posture? And I perked up because I was practically slumped under my desk. I thought, wow. I started to listen and I thought, somebody gets me. And I frantically started taking notes. Then a verse was shared that just really pierced my heart. It was Psalm 62:5. And it says, find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from Him. And I thought, wow, it didn't say find rest, O my soul, in a clean bill of health or in a large bank account. It simply said find rest in God alone. My hope comes from Him alone. And it was crazy, but that Sunday, a real lightness just came over my soul. And I just thought, God, I'll wait for you. And so a lot has happened since that last weekend of 2023. I did get a clean bill of health that my tumor hadn't grown. And my husband, Ed, did qualify for disability. And those are fantastic things. It's what I wanted. I felt relief, but my hope wasn't hung on them. I was really focused on God and just a heart of thankfulness. And so then finally I decided that it was time to return to church. I really felt like God was calling me to be there in person. And the first Sunday I was so anxious. I just wanted to get in, hide in the back row in the dark, not be seen. And the pastors saw us when we came in. They welcomed us with open arms and hugs, which was so encouraging. There was no judgment. There was no barrage of questions where we had been. And I really felt like the prodigal son coming home. And I just reflected that I've searched for hope and peace and life and so many things, in a good time, in travels, in a guy, relationships, friendships, and in a job. But God really wants us to have our hope in Him alone. God welcomed me home.